If it tastes like biryani, it looks like biryani, then it is biryani. Here's a recipe that doesn't have to be complicated to make a delicious and amazing biryani. So here's what you're gonna need to accomplish this. Some chicken, of course. Here we have 1 kilogram of chicken. We have some chicken stock, some garlic cloves, plain yogurt, ginger, a few chili peppers, a whole onion, some tomatoes, coriander, and some good old ghee or butter. And of course, we're gonna need some rice. So here we have 3 cups of basmati rice. Make sure to soak it in water for 1 hour before boiling it. Next, we have a beautiful blend of spices, some cinnamon sticks, black and green cardamoms, cumin seeds, and on the right side we have coriander powder, salt, garam masala, and turmeric powder. So here's an overview of all of the ingredients. We also need a pinch of orange food color. So we begin by crushing the black and the green cardamoms in a mortar and a pestle. If you don't have this, you can also use just cardamom powder, but it's always best to use the whole spice and crush it when you're using it. That makes it more flavorful. So here we have 2 pots on the stove. In one we're gonna boil the rice, and in the other one we're gonna cook the chicken. So we begin by heating oil and adding in the onions. We're gonna add the cinnamon and the cumin seeds and fry that all together for a few minutes. We want to make the onions turn a deep brown color. We're gonna add in the chili peppers, the grated ginger, and the grated garlic. And make sure to stir this frequently so that none of these spices burn. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the pot. So we're gonna keep frying this for a few minutes until the onions turn a nice deep brown color. It's the onions that give the biryani its nice color. Next, add in the crushed cardamoms that we just crushed with a mortar and a pestle, and keep mixing this so all the flavors combine and come together. You don't have to use a purple onion, by the way. You can use a regular white onion. We just had this one in our kitchen. So our onions have turned a nice deep brown color, and now we can add in all of the chicken. Here we use boneless chicken thighs. That's why we use chicken stock, to replace the flavor. But if you're using a whole chicken with all of the bones, then you don't have to use chicken stock because the bones contain all of the flavor. So because we don't have the chicken bones, we're replacing the flavor from that in the chicken stock. So mix everything together. Make sure you incorporate all of the onions and the chicken. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the pot to make sure that there's nothing burning. And we're going to place the lid on the pot for 5 minutes to allow the chicken to cook. And this will allow the chicken to release its water, release its moisture, and you can mix it again. Scrape the bottom if there's anything sticking. At this point, the chicken isn't fully cooked yet. We're going to add in the rest of the spices to allow the chicken to absorb all of the flavors and all of the spices. Give it a nice mix. Then we can add in all of the tomatoes and the coriander. Make sure you chop the coriander nicely and leave some of the coriander for the end for the garnish. So as always, mix everything together. Now add in the chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use water instead, but the chicken stock will give it more flavor. So combine everything together. And when you're stirring, be careful not to stir too vigorously because you don't want the chicken meat to fall apart. We still want the chicken to remain whole. Now we're gonna get ready to boil the rice. Add in 2 tablespoons of salt to water and bring it to a boil. And here we see that after 10 to 15 minutes, the gravy of the chicken has thickened and we add in the yogurt. Again, be careful when you stir the chicken. You don't want it to fall apart and become all broken into little bits. So we're gonna let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. And after 5 to 10 minutes, this is what you get. You get this beautiful gravy. And over here we're boiling the rice. We want to boil the rice so it's par cooked, just a little bit raw, but mostly cooked. And we're going to drain out all of the water. Make sure you prepare your orange food coloring on the other side. You can add just the water from the boiling rice and prepare it. So drain out all the water. Make sure it's nice and dry and lay it over the chicken. You're gonna sprinkle on the orange food coloring. Make sure you don't add too much. We just want a little bit of the rice to turn orange, not too much. Then we're going to nicely lay on the ghee or the butter. This is going to add a beautiful flavor to the rice. Sprinkle on some freshly chopped coriander and a few slices of lemon for extra flavor. And this is very important. The next part is we're going to tightly put on the lid, and this will allow the rice to steam cook for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, the biryani is ready. So be very careful when you're stirring everything together. You don't want to break the rice because it's very fragile. So use a plate or a large spatula to nicely fold over the chicken and the rice. And you can use the same plate to serve the rice on a platter. And your biryani is done. We hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for more delicious recipes coming up. See you next time.